The importance of Shaban and what's written upon the soul, that this is the month, Shaban is the month of Sayyidina Muhammad. Rajab is Allah's month in which a secret light and the birth of light is occurring, and Shaban is the light in which Prophet attached as a special gift to the nation, this is my month in which I'm going to give to that light and to that reality. And then from that secret of Rajab to the appearance of Sayyidina Muhammad comes Ramadan, which is the appearance of the creation and the nation. So awliyaullah come and teach us that Nifs Sha'ban has to do with the spiritual new year, in which Allah is going to write every event in a clear register, whom coming that year, who's leaving that year, everything that's going to be written upon their soul of their rizq and of what's their need is then occurring. So awliyaullah from that association and that presence and reality with Sayyidina Muhammad then come to teach their students that that's a night in which to make your salat al-khair. So the Shab-e-Barat when they're celebrating the night of forgiveness, why? Because many things are written that Allah is giving a immense night, an immense night of whom is coming to ask for forgiveness. That's the night that they put and prepare everything and say, Ya Rabbi, this is our whole existence, our life. And we… As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream, every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're putting and coming to your door asking for your forgiveness and write for us good and forgive for us what we've done of wrong. If anything we did wrong that is deserving of your anger and difficulty coming to us, Ya Rabbi, supersede that, bring that to be lowered and grant us to be khair and good and goodness to come to us. So then they celebrate the Shab-e-Barat and the Salat al-Khair, the 100 rakahs asking Allah's forgiveness from the power of Surat al-Fatiha and Surat al-Ikhlas, because they recite almost 1000 ikhlas. If every 3 ikhlas has the ajr and the reward of reciting the whole of Qur'an and the dress upon the soul of the whole of Qur'an coming upon the soul. So then imagine 1000 Surat al-Ikhlas that night. So alhamdulillah, when Allah describes, whom we guide is guide, whom we don't guide is not guided. When Allah assign us to awliyaullah, then their guidance and the immense bounty, none will know it except the exceptional, these people of tafakkur. So means these are from the bounty of Allah whom know that. Others may deny it but they basically shot themselves in the foot. Why to deny Allah's rahmah? If somebody tells you that Allah's rahmah on that night, then go out and grab the mercy. The worst that can happen is nothing happen, and the most that can happen is Allah will reward your faith. So anything you do in Allah's way, Allah's the one who gives the recompense and the salary, and Allah is the best of those whom provide. So if you put 100 hours in something, do you think Allah's not going to pay you? It's not like dunya where people cheat you out of your hours and cheat you out of your salary. Anything that you do in Allah's way, Allah's the one whom provides. So there's no bid'ah in ibadah. So anyone whom is worshipping, as much as they worship, as much as they make their salah, as much as they want to make zikr, as much as they want to do their ibadah, Allah is the one whom is paying them and giving them the reward and giving them the blessing. So these are immense, immense nights, and the blessing is to be in tariqahs, to be told about it. Many people say, oh, all my life in Islam I never heard those things, I never even heard what Shab-e-Barat. Especially if they were raised in the West under these new ideology. Traditional countries all know them, for 1,000 years they've been celebrating these nights. So that becomes the immense blessings. The only problem is that under these new understandings and new celebrations, don't go to an event of heedlessness to welcome a new year, and then written for you, you left it in heedlessness and you'll enter into heedlessness and then create a difficulty for that year. That's what Mawlana Shaykh was always warning, is that sit in remembrance, sit in istighfar, ask Allah for forgiveness and goodness, and so that you can always enter into Allah's rahmah and mercy. And that's the reality of Islam. We said that every holy event in Islam is by Maghrib, Laylatul Isra'i wal Miraj. Why? Because you take the night is like going through the gate of that event. As soon as you spend the night in worshipness, the tajalli is coming on the day, and the recompense, the salary, the gifts from Allah is coming the day. So but the night is the time in which to send that night in worshipness and forgiveness, so that Allah is preparing the soul to be dressed by its blessings in the day. So that's all of our holy nights are based on the Laylatul Qadr, so that you can receive salamun hiya hatta mitla al-fajr. So everything we do good at the night, so that Allah dresses us by the daytime, so that those tajallis dress upon the soul and upon the reality, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, in many cultures they ground children as a punishment in isolation. So is this not a good way of punishing naughty children, because isolation may be connected to bad memories?
Go to your room? Or what kind of isolation, depending upon how you were raised. If you were isolated for 40 days because you did something bad, then that would be pretty extreme. But go to your room and time out, this is customary. So yeah, that's something different. It's the same understanding that if you're doing something bad, Allah's giving you time out. So go to your room, right? So the first one you're going to be thrown in it, but once you become rijal you're going to ask for it. So Sayyidina Yusuf is our example. The first one, Allah took him by the means of his brothers and threw him in a well. He got hurt in the well because he fell down and hurt his knee, and that was the first one, was not with his will. So everybody may understand isolation, punishment, time out, and you learn from that. And those whom lived a life under discipline, they should appreciate Allah giving them discipline and tarbiyah, because the one whom was raised bi tarbiyat with no tarbiyah is a wild dog, more like a wolf now, very dangerous, because no sense of discipline. That one you can't bring into discipline without severe consequences. So discipline in life is not something bad, but it sets our morals and our compass. And Allah gave the example through Sayyidina Yusuf. So the first one is by Allah's force, but when he wanted to achieve the station that he was destined for, Sayyidina Yusuf asked because the dunya was coming too much after him. He said, I think prison is better for me now, so that I spend the time away from people, and that was from His will. The first is from Allah's will. So when you're young you don't have a will, Allah puts you in a family of discipline, that's then not under your will. But what's most important is that at the time you have a will and you want to surrender your bad character, is ask Allah, give me the strength in which to isolate from people. And that's what we described during the pandemic and all these sicknesses. The pandemic is actually the people, not the virus. The pandemic is the people. People are cross-contaminating everyone. People and their ideology and their mindset and everything that they contain is making everybody sick. Mentally sick, then physically sick. InshaAllah. InshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Shaykh.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
How can those attract the energy and light, those who are dumb or can't speak by reciting?
What?
They can't speak or recite, they have a disability, so how are they able to attract energy?
Play it. Play the recitation. If you have a limitation on your ability to recite then they play the recitation. And Allah knows whatever limits He put upon a servant, that they can play for the audible sound to enter in an environment, and then as they connect their heart and make their madad, that's what's powerful. So there's an outside connection so that you clean the space. So we clean our space with the outside sort of audible recitations. But the one whom begins to learn to make their connection and their madad, that's an energy that is something completely different. That once you start to make the madad, the appearance of these souls, connecting with them, energizing with them, the energy that comes from that then is the real protection. And that anything you recite in that madad, that you made your madad and begin to recite, that energy becomes very powerful, it doesn't have to be out loud. Then they start to understand the reality of Naqshbandi zikr is actually khafi. But it's khafi if you made madad, so that you're in the presence of the shaykhs, under the connection of the shaykhs, and then your zikr khafi is that you're connecting with them and that you're entering and keeping a state of semi-death. That's why you don't move anything, you don't move your hands, you don't nothing. They just recite in a state like in their muraqabah. But the khafi without the state of the madad is just is something else. But the real intention that Mawlana Shah Naqshband was drawing us to that reality was that you made your madad, you went deep into your connection. As a result of being in that world of light, less movement on your form brings more power to your recitations. So that's a state in which they try to take us to teach us that, especially in the SMC school of Naqshbandiyatul Aliyah, that specialize in the muraqabah and the way of tafakkur, how to make the madad, how to make the connection. At that time then the khafi zikrs, the breathing, all of these practices will truly illuminate the heart and the soul of the servant, inshaAllah.